welcome back to my channel. If you are returning, thank you so much, and if you're new, please do not forget to like, do not forget to comment, and do not forget to subscribe, because over here we like, we comment, and we subscribe. What's up? What's good, beautiful people? I hope you guys have been doing fantastic. I've been going through a lot, but that's okay. So I just decided, since I have a bit of free time, let me go and like visit on my YouTube channel, Ivaka Chanyana, like I'm going to just show my face, proof of life. I'm still here, I'm still alive, and it's all good and well. Thank you so much to those who have continued to subscribe and those who have continued to watch my videos. I appreciate you so much. Mwah. Now, moving on to today's video. Today I'm talking about how to study and how to improve your marks. One of the most frequent questions I get in my comment section as well as my DMs is, how do I study? How do I study? How do I study for maths and science? How do I get better grades? How do I improve my marks? How do I improve my marks? Help! So instead of replying to everyone, I decided to just have one YouTube video that I can refer everyone to. Disclaimer, these are not proven scientific methods. This is not a data analysis that I did on how to improve marks. This is just honestly, truly generic advice and generic methods that I followed when I was in primary and high school, and tweaked it a little bit, but still the same methods that are used right now. High school, primary, foolproof, definitely. And as soon as I started adding more to my methods, I started seeing a great improvement and a great jump in my marks. So I think maybe this can help you in case maybe you didn't think about doing such things. All right, enough talking too much. Let's get to the video. Okay, so this advice, I'm mostly going to base it on mathematics, physical science, and life sciences, because obviously I am a medical student and those are the three subjects I spent most of my time studying. I still studied others, but my attention was mostly focused on these three subjects. So let me just say one thing right with maths and science: it requires practice. These are practical subjects, they're not theoretical. So it's not about sitting down and reading the methods or reading how to do it. No, because you can read until the sun comes up, sweetheart. It's not gonna help you. You need to practice. You need to train your brain to think like how they want you to think. These two are subjects that tap into that analytical, problem-solving, critical thinking aspects of your brain. So you need to train that. It's like, they say it's like riding a bicycle. I don't know how to ride a bicycle, so I don't know how true that is. But they say it's like riding a bicycle or driving a car, actually. So if you keep driving every single day, the better you get, and the more some things become muscle memory. That way you focus your attention more on the road and what other drivers are doing. You're not thinking about, let me change the gear, let me step on the clutch, let me indicate, let me do this. It just becomes second nature, so that you are able to think about other things. So that's the same thing with maths and science. Practical muscle memory, so that they can give you an equation, but because other things are muscle memory, even if they trick you or slightly tweak it, you're able to adapt because you're not still struggling to grapple with basic concepts. Those are just honestly the generic advice with maths and science. So let's take you are in grade 11 and you are realizing that, shucks, I am struggling with this. One thing that I do, or even now in medical school, if I realize I'm struggling with a concept, I go back to first year, second year notes. There's nothing wrong with going back. So you go back and see if you can find notes from or work from grade 9, grade 10, and see if you can master those concepts first, then come back to these, because it's all about building up. We started literally learning what you're doing in matric maths in grade 1. 1 plus missing block equals 2 is literally 1 plus x equals 2. Solve for x, right? So it's all about making sure that your basic building blocks are there, and then you can add, and those become muscle memory, and you can add. So you can only get that through continuous practicing. Ask your teachers for past question papers. Do your past question papers that you have done and that you have. And then also, it may be hard with maths and science, but what I used to do with life science is that I used to get my notes. So I have my notes in front of me, then I have a book, so a 2-quire hardcover book, and I write a life science, and then I used to create questions. So as I'm studying, it will be, let's say the topic is cells, right? So then I'll write question 1, and then I'll read, and they say this cell has no nucleus, and then I'll be like, which cell does not have a nucleus? The next question I'll be like, eukaryotic cells do have a nucleus, true or false? Then you keep going like that, just reading the work, engaging with the work, and creating questions. So after then you've dealt with that topic, you read over the topic, and then you go back and then you try and answer those questions. That is called active recall. Apparently it's called active recall, but that's what I used to do in primary and in high school, and that helped me retain information much longer, in a way that I wasn't just reading. I was actually actively engaging with the work. Right, so that's how practice. Then with your theoretical subjects like life science, engage with the work, ask yourself questions. Don't just read over and over and highlight with different colors and things going to stick in your head. You need to constantly be engaging with your work in different ways, instead of always reading that eukaryotic cells have no nucleus. Actually, I have no idea, I forgot. I think prokaryotic don't have. The point. That's the point. The point is, you need to. Let's actually change this example. Okay, let's talk about insects. Let's say you're now studying organistic kingdoms, and now you're reading, okay, an ant is part of the insect kingdom, family, whatever. Then instead of reading all the time, insects are part of the, write down and say which kingdom do insects fall under, and then now it's activating another brain. You're thinking about it another way instead of constantly repeating the same thing. That's the point I was trying to get to. I hope I brought that point across while trying to think of an example. So that's right. Point number 2 is that you need to I worded this better. Point number 2 is figure out what your weak points are early. This is just reiterating on the previous point. So if you are constantly engaging and practicing with your work, constantly you're doing your homework, you're being a diligent student, you're listening in class, you're doing your homework, you have good work ethic. I think one of the biggest things is having a good work ethic. Do not think you will cruise throughout the term, and then when it's time for exams, now you want to cram and punch everything else in your brain. It's not going to work. Develop a consistent and good work ethic throughout the term and throughout the year. Good work ethic is key. Okay, so as you're going through your work and as you're writing tests, you can see which topics you're struggling with. Personally, for me, around grade 10 and grade 11, the topic that I struggled with the most was geometry. I think it was Euclidean geometry is what I struggled with the most. I think Euclidean or analytical, I can't remember between those two. My brain just wasn't a visual spatial brain. It was mostly crunching numbers, calculations and things like that. So I really struggled a lot with geometry, and I saw that very quickly, because when we were doing your calculus and when we were doing your factorization and all those types of mathematics, my marks would be very great. But once we move on to your geometry, my marks would slightly drop. So then that's when I picked up that actually I'm really struggling with this. And then I went to the teacher and I was like, ma'am, I'm struggling with this. What tips do you have? Where do you think I'm going wrong? What is going on? And then on top of that, to go on to my third point, I got help very early. So in grade 11, I went for extra lessons to help me particularly with the geometrical aspect of mathematics. And extra lessons are not for people who are failing dismally and that need all the help. No, it's literally just extra support and extra help to help you push you over the edge. And honestly, those extra lessons helped me so much. I didn't struggle with geometry anymore. My marks even showed it, and I carried that throughout to matric. And I didn't realize when I was in matric and it was finals that I'm actually struggling with this. I picked up that habit early. Same with chemistry and physics. I also struggled with chemistry. My marks weren't as good. I was better in physics than I was in chemistry, and same with that, I would practice, and I would attend extra lessons that our science teacher had specifically for chemistry. I would go, she'd give us extra question papers and extra questions and explain things, and I got it further. So finding your weak points very early in the game, very quickly, and getting help is a huge game changer. Number 3, same, getting help early, but also using other resources. If you guys listened in LO, you know that people are different learners. There's people who are visual learners, people who are auditory learners, you know, different types of things. So finding different resources of getting information rather than sitting in class or sitting and just writing and rewriting what your textbook is saying in your notes is not going to help you much. So you can use other resources such as Khan Academy. It is fantastic for maths and science. Khan Academy is great. I discovered Khan Academy, I think grade 11 and in matric, and I would use it all the time. If you are watching this YouTube video, you can watch Khan Academy. I suggest you log out of here, go to Khan Academy, and find a topic that can that you're struggling with, and they can help you. They are so great at explaining concepts in quick 15-minute videos. You find that I watch a 15-minute video and I understand what the teacher was trying to explain for a whole double period. It's honestly insane, but it's amazing. Another thing that YouTube videos help is just go on YouTube and search the topic that you want. There are tons and tons of videos that you can get there that will help you. So another thing that these videos help with is that they sort of form a foundation for you before you can get into the topic. So you just quickly watch a 10-minute video about a certain topic, and then when you go and actually do it, you are already clued up on it. So it's honestly fantastic. I think I spoke a lot, but I think those are generally the tips and the things that I use in primary and in matric. You hear me say primary. I've been working hard for way too long. That's why I'm just tired, child. But it was worth it, and it helped build my work ethic in the end. But yeah, so these are tips that really helped me just get me where I needed to be by the time I was doing my matric finals, and I hope they will help you too. So thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to DM me on Instagram or leave a question in the comment section below. Until next time, bye.